Just fucking do it. Subscribe now. Okay, now, EJ, I want to show, yeah, correct. Well, it's how you run your business. And it wouldn't be funny if it weren't true. I can just imagine how your organizations run. I could teach a course at Stanford or Harvard or Oxford. This is what not to fucking do. Oh, this is Josh pitching me to be chairman. And that's it. And by the way, the young lady, there's a second part. Remember you asked the question, good, and I'm not saying just to pacify you, a good question vis-a-vis what you put in the blog, free founders equity, why won't they expect money, is basically what you asked me. But see, the big hitters know what free founders equity means. It doesn't mean a salary. It doesn't mean money. It means for the first time in their careers, 20, 40, 50 years, they're going to get equity in NewCo, holding company. And one of the variations, free founders equity, NewCo free founders equity, or free founders equity, depending on which one you use that you get the best of results to. They know that they're not going to get paid. But I thought of that afterwards when I was reading some of your homework last night. And the one thing that I left out of that, which is in the templates, is subject to conflict. When I was talking to Josh, I neglected to put in subject to conflict. And these guys and gals will have conflicts, as I've said all along. But that's it. Now, remember, you've gone email, or call, email, call. You've got their attention on LinkedIn, his attention on LinkedIn. You've then got his email address where you emailed him and you set up a meeting. Now, I also used to, it's in the templates, I used to call that guy's secretary or assistant a day or two before to make sure that he received the executive summary and that if you could print it out and please put it on his desk pursuant to my phone call the day after tomorrow. Because these guys are busy and a lot of times they're not going to read it unless you bring it to their attention. Now, some of the guys, not me, but some of the guys used to, when the secretary would say yes, would send them, candy and shit like that. I never did that, but I mean, some of the guys did. But now you can send, flowers online or whatever, and they open up and they go, I never did any of that. But there's a lot of other tools to incentivize the assistant, the gatekeepers. In the next call from Josh, he uses a line that will get you by the gatekeepers 80-90% of the time, gets you by all the administrative assistants 80-90% of the time. And Mr. Jones is the principal in, and they say, yes, I'm calling in reference to a possible joint venture. Not because you're trying to hire them, not because you're trying to buy them. You're calling and pursuing a possible joint venture. And implicit in those words is a possible transaction or something that we're both going to make money, joint venture. And that'll get you 3/4 of the time past the meanest gatekeeper. Now, a couple of times last year, we had a gatekeeper that listens to me on YouTube. And, oh, you're calling on a QLA deal. And the you, not being too slick, and hung up. But that's only happened once in the last 5 years. She happens to follow me on YouTube. So I thought it was pretty cute. He didn't. He was all revved up and then he got blown out of the saddle. And it's that simple. Then that's the chairman, and the chairman again is crucially important because you're going to ride the chairman and his reputation. On the other side of that coin, these guys and gals don't want their reputation to be soiled at the twilight of their career. And so once you've got a board, now I'm getting ahead of myself. The first board meeting we're going to get to in a little while. But when you're there, you're going to say words to the effect, and this is also on a template, I know we're all worried that we do the right thing, always do the right thing. But if and when, life happens and we get in a situation that somebody has to fall on the sword, I will fall on the sword. Now, when he says, nobody gives a shit him saying that. But you're going to fall on the sword. That's Leadership 101. You're taking the fear away. If we're going to fuck up, we do something wrong, Policia's after us, they're going to take me, not you. Works 1,000% of the time. That 4-star general that I told you about, that I was on the board with, he said that, that's Leadership 101. Leadership 101. Somebody's got to fall on the knife, it's you. A lot of knives have been getting, Mr. Slim over there. But I mean, it's you. Now, see, for most of you, I can just look on your face, that's against your code of honor, because you don't have a code of honor. And in this game, you only make one big mistake, and then you never get an opportunity to make a second one. You asked me about a couple of crooks that I've known over the years, and he got a second opportunity. I don't know how he got a second opportunity, because he went to jail twice. But I mean, the buck stops with you guys, no matter how young you are. And it's harder when you're just a kid, like Josh Kim or yourself. It's harder, because nobody's going to believe you're going to take the knife. Nobody. And so you got to learn, Leadership 101. I already told you the book about Tough-Minded Leadership by Joe Batten is a terrific book. It's one of the only few books that I recommend people read. But I mean, seriously, you're the one. Remember, I don't mind eating last as long as I eat most. And you shouldn't expect the 5% CFO or the 10% CEO or 7% CEO or the 10% chairman to fall on the knife for 10% when you're getting 65%. That's not how the financial world works. Any questions about Josh? The Islik, I mean, he's a natural-born evangelist, not similar to Thomas. The fucking Bible thumpers, you got to give them some credit. Praise the Lord and pass the fucking ammunition. Except they say, praise the Lord and pass the fucking money. And these Bible thumper kids, they didn't say fucking shit and cunt before they met me. I flipped every single one of them to the dark side. I am the Darth Vader of financial learning. I flipped everyone. Because rarely does a true Bible thumper get rich. Because by definition, there's a lot of charlatans in the Bible thumping business, unfortunately. Any questions about Josh? Yes, sir, in the back.
On that first phone call, when you're pitching the chairman, if the chairman seems interested, like in this scenario, this role playing you were,
the chairman's not going to take the fucking call if he's not interested.
Right. Well, my comment is, shouldn't he have scheduled an appointment on that call to meet in person?
Well, okay, you're absolutely correct. This would normally now be done by you kids on a Skype or a Zoom, and then the next. But he hasn't sent the shit yet. Okay, when he gets the shit, like he's supposed to. Now, unfortunately, there's some guys that just are jerking you along. They got nothing better to do, so they take your call, and then they don't send it. Just as the motivated sellers, not every motivated seller that says he's going to send you your account, your tax returns, his tax returns, or his numbers on his business is going to send them to you. Then again, it's sales. And some of the motivated sellers will jerk you around just to get a feel for what their business is worth. So not everybody is as reputable as I'm teaching you to be on our side, which, i.e., we already have a young man that is maybe not dealing with as reputable a bunch of people as he would like to have. That's his life. That's his life. And if we don't read about him in the obituaries, in the next few weeks. By the way, the obituaries are a great prospecting tool. I'll tell you about that. We can't give the YouTubers everything, so I'll tell you about that after we get off of YouTube. But seriously, just like weddings and funerals are a good place for a young single guy to get laid, obituaries are a great prospecting tool to find motivated sellers. Any other questions about, yes, sir?
What if we do call, email, call? We won't have sent them the executive summary.
No. The call, email, call to get their attention, so they'll give you their email address. Then, when you have their regular email address, not the LinkedIn address, and you send it to them pursuant to our phone call or your response of your email, I'm now sending you the executive summary, blah, 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 blah. But once they get the executive summary, you're not having this call or a meeting unless they're interested. They may take your call if they're lukewarm interested. They're not going to meet with you if they're lukewarm, because these guys and gals all have busy schedules. They've all got better things to do, if nothing else, to play tennis or golf in the afternoons. And and the first time that you get a response, you'll be all excited, like Andres was portraying in his webinar, that, you finally found somebody, and then, they may or may not have the same interest as you, and some people will just say, when you say 3 to 5 times EBITDA, they'll say fuck off. They won't say fuck off, but they'll say fuck off because that's half of what they thought they want to sell their business for. Because most of the motivated sellers, except for in Corona period, it's less, have got a number in their mind that they think their business should be worth after 25 years. And the number's almost always wrong. But it's tough to blow that number out of their brain, short of a cricket bat in the head. I mean, it's tough. So you're going to go through a lot of people. But normally when you say 3 to 5 times EBITDA, the 5 is at the edge, their lower edge of what they want for their business when they figure it out. The other thing, it's not funny. We know what their cash flow is. They only think they know what their cash flow is. Because most people don't, say, some of the guys you'll talk to, they think top line revenue is cash flow. Because the cash is coming into their revenue account. To them, they have no fucking idea. So when you say 3 to 5, and let's see, we got revenue of 10 million, that's 50 million. Fuck, that's right in line with what I want to sell for. I mean, these guys aren't intellectually that smart. And they want to get rich off one deal. There's 2 wants. They want the money yesterday, and they want enough money yesterday, so they got rich off one deal, and a lot of them just want bragging rights. They don't understand due diligence is a euphemism for knocking the price from 50 to 30. And then they'll go brag around. Sometimes they'll get seller's remorse because they misunderstood you, and so they'll go to a cocktail party or blah, 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 a family reunion, whatever, and they'll be telling everybody they're going to get a $50 million figure, and when you come back with $6.5 million, if they don't drop dead from a stroke or heart attack, now they look stupid to their family. Sometimes people will back out of deals, and you'll never know the real reason why. But almost always it's because somehow, directly or indirectly, they're going to be embarrassed. They're going to be embarrassed. But you work through all those permutations. That's why it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. You just keep calling. And then some days you'll get 5, 6, 7 in a row that say yes. And you go, oh, God. I guess what the old fart, me being the old fart, said it's like taking candy from a baby. Then 4 days later, you'll make 84 calls, 81 hung up on you, and 3 told you to fuck off. Old blind bastard. He must have stolen all that money to get in the castle. And then you go, so my karma goes up and down, by how many successful calls you kids make. Remember, early in the morning, late in the afternoon, early evening, and weekends. Most of you, probably, your email are less on the weekends, probably. So people are going to be receptive because, They're fiddle farting around on the internet. And most people, when the email comes in, will answer it. Not that many people are structured enough, they only answer emails once or twice a day. Most people, if they're sitting at the computer, will answer email, unless you see who it's from and you don't want to answer it. I bet you don't get any emails like that, do you? People chasing you for money. It'll be interesting to track him. We'll probably track him on his way to the obituary. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, YouTube. Bye-bye. Now I want to tell you